Come closer for a moment. Let's talk about the anchor. Not the one ships carry across the ocean, but the one some people unknowingly become in life. Because if you observe carefully, you will notice something interesting about the ocean. Most people admire the surface, the light dancing on the water, the horizon stretching endlessly. But very few people think about what lies beneath. Beneath the surface, the ocean becomes darker, denser, quieter. And the deeper you go, the heavier the pressure becomes. Life has a similar ocean. Some people seem to live mostly near the surface of it. Their path is calmer, their waters clearer. But others that are, for reasons they rarely understand, are dropped into deeper waters, into moments of loss, into uncertainty, into fear, into experiences that feel heavier than they expected life to be. And when you find yourself in those depths, it can feel confusing. You might look around and wonder why your ocean feels so different, why the waters around you seem darker than they appear for others, why the pressure feels stronger. But something profound happens in the depths of the ocean, because when a ship needs stability during a storm, where does the anchor go? Not to the surface. The anchor must descend. It must travel all the way down to the ocean floor, because only in the depths can it hold the ship steady. And that is something life quietly teaches. People who have gone through deep waters develop a kind of strength that cannot be learned at the surface. A strength that is not loud, a strength that does not need to prove itself, but a strength that comes from having faced darkness and still choosing to remain present. They understand fear, but are not controlled by it. They understand uncertainty, but are not destroyed by it. They understand pain, but do not allow it to harden their heart. And slowly, without even realizing it, they begin to become something for others. They become anchors, not because they were trying to be, but because depth changes a person. When someone has faced the darker parts of life, they develop a different way of seeing the world. They learn patience. They learn compassion. They learn how to stay calm when everything around them is chaotic. And when storms appear in other people's lives, those who have known the depths are often the ones who can hold stability. They become the quiet presence that reminds others the storm will pass. Interestingly, this idea also appears in physics. In complex systems, stability often comes from the deepest energy states. When energy moves through a system, it naturally settles into what scientists call a stable equilibrium, the lowest energy point where things can rest. The deeper the system settles, the more stable it becomes. In other words, depth creates stability. Life seems to mirror this pattern. People who have descended into their own depths often develop a kind of internal gravity, a grounded presence, a calm that others can feel, because they have already faced the pressure of deeper waters. And once you have learned to breathe there, the storms at the surface no longer feel as overwhelming. But here's something many anchors forget. The role of the anchor is not to suffer in the depths forever. Its role is to hold stability when the waters become turbulent. It is there to keep the ship from drifting when the storm arrives, to give direction when visibility disappears. And sometimes the people who have experienced the deepest waters in life become exactly that. Not because life wanted them to suffer, but because the depth shaped their strength, because the darkness revealed their resilience, because the pressure forged their stability. And if you look closely at the world, you will notice that many of the most grounded people carry stories that few others know. Stories of storms they survived. Moments where life pushed them far below the surface. Experiences that forced them to grow roots deeper than they ever imagined. But those same experiences often gave them something rare: the ability to remain steady when others panic, the ability to listen without judgment, the ability to hold space when someone else is struggling to stay afloat. So if life ever made you feel like you were dropped into the deeper parts of the ocean, if you have known moments where the darkness felt heavy, if you have carried experiences that others cannot fully see, maybe your story is not a sign that life pushed you down. Maybe it is the process through which life shaped your strength, because every ship navigating the ocean eventually meets a storm. And when that storm arrives, what holds everything steady is not what floats at the surface. It is what rests quietly in the depths. So if you have been through deep waters in life, remember this. Not everyone is meant to remain at the surface. Some people are meant to descend and transform completely.